Shout out BruceGas, aka Toka too. You know I had to drop a track for my boy.
Where you at?
Yeah, capping in your wrestling boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, BruceGas putting them fights on the table. Calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fake. If he was champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out BruceGas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke another weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka too. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the Pikachu. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out Mad Chad, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the panel. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sandals. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like BruceGas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this the fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed, yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
Good evening. This is BruceGas, Boxing, Jazz, and More, and I'm honored to have somebody in here. I'm honored to have a little bit of boxing royalty joining us tonight, and she's sitting right here, J. Marie. Well, she is right here. Your microphone is muted. That could possibly be it. But anyway, I'm fortunate enough to have J. Marie Moore in the studio with me tonight, and I think this is going out on Facebook too. Let me just make sure while I'm here and see if it is. All right, let me refreshing this and see if we're going. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are live on Facebook. Let me fix this so I can get a full audience in here. See, edit audience right here. Boom. We put it on public so anyone can see us. And here we are. Going out over YouTube, going out over X, formerly known as Twitter, and going out on Facebook. So, and I thank all you cats that came in here. J. Marie, she's in the studio with me now, and her mic is muted. But hey, this is the daughter of the Mongoose, the legend, Archie Moore. And Just Frank, thank you for coming by the building, man. I appreciate it. We got Marv76 on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. We got my brother Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Thank you, my brother. The Bud Files are here, man. I appreciate you cats for coming into the room. Just waiting on J. Marie. Like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find my favorite jazz club. See if they're cooking tonight. I always like to have these cats playing in the background, but I didn't want to overshadow J. Marie. Just want to have that on very low. And as soon as J. Marie gets in here, your boxing IQ is going to go up. I guarantee that. The old Mongoose, Archie Moore. Feels kind of funny because J. Marie was just in the studio, and I told her at 8 o'clock. She stepped out for a second, and I hope she doesn't leave me here with egg on my face. But you know BruceGas. BruceGas is the he likes doing shows by himself mostly anyway. But I got a great guest coming on, and once again, Drink that water. Drink that water. I think this is. I think Miss J Marie is in the building. Are you there? Are you there? There she is. Oh wow, we got her live in living color, ladies and gentlemen. This is the daughter of the Mongoose. This is J Marie Moore, my friend, sister. Thank you so much. Your mic is muted. No, I can't hear you. Nothing. Can you hear? You can hear me, right? Yeah, I can't hear anything, J Marie. Maybe you're unmuted, right? Maybe if you went out and came back again, it would work. Because a lot of times, if you go leave the studio and come back in again, man, she's coming right back. She's coming right back. Marion G, salute my brother. We got boxing royalty in the house tonight, man. And Andrew Charles, thank you so much for coming in. She was here, and of course, you know, we did a dry run yesterday just to make sure that the StreamYard was compatible with what she was using, and it came in perfectly. And man, the old Mongoose, Archie Moore, his daughter, man, she was a former fighter. Here we go. Let's see.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, we can. Yes, we can, my sister.
Okay, hello everyone.
So good to see you. So great to see you. So great to see you.
Nice to see you.
So I mean, hey, you're Archie Moore, the fruit of his loins. How is life doing growing up with the old Mongoose?
Well, I'm learning a lot actually. I'm doing some writing, so I'm learning a lot more so than when I knew when I was growing up.
Okay, now December was a special month for Archie Moore.
Right.
I mean,
Extremely.
we just recently had his 110th birthday.
107th to him.
100. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's another thing. Let's get into that. Where was Archie born, and what year was he born in?
Okay, he was born in Benoit, Mississippi. He says that he was born in 1916, December 13th. And his mother, my grandmother, said he was born December 13th, 1913. And he said either he said he should know he was there.
Now, even the city is in doubt. Some people say it was in Illinois and Collinsville, Illinois.
No, never. No. He was pretty proud of the fact he was from Mississippi. So, yeah, he was born in Mississippi, raised in St. Louis, you know.
Now Archie went through some bad times. People around here, they don't understand the way that the world was run back then. I mean, Archie was a black man in a white man's world, and you know, they were only accepting Joe Louis, Henry Armstrong, Sugar Ray Robinson. Archie seemed to be the odd man out of those great legends.
Right.
Did you feel that when you were growing up?
I'm sorry?
Did you feel that when you were growing up?
Yeah. I felt him, you know, obviously I wasn't born around that time, but from what I know and, you know, different things, he was. But he was always left out. He was the world's most ignored fighter. And that's even on Ring magazine cover. Even with him trying, you know, chasing the crown. Nobody else had that, you know, problem for 15 years. He waited. He was the number one contender for 15 years, and they still would not fight him. Different champions came in and out, and particularly Joey Maxim, of course. And finally, he wrote 35 letters a day to the newspapers, to different news outlets. 35 letters a day until the people said, hey, we want to see Archie Moore fight Joey Maxim. And once that happened, and they made the deal. He, of course, beat Joey Maxim and held on to that title for almost 10 years, the longest reigning light heavyweight in history. The most knockout records, 145 in history. It will never be broken. World Guinness Book of Records.
Never, never, never. Now, Archie, he loved to write letters, didn't he?
Yeah, I did.
I
Yeah.
mean, he I hear from different people who followed Archie, right? And they said he was just he wrote, like you said, 30 letters a day to Ring Magazine in order to get that title shot. And that was after 129 professional fights. These kids today, they're fighting 20 fights and they're winding up in world title fights.
With the belt. Yeah.
That must have drove him nuts. That must
Yeah.
have, dude.
I mean, if I had known it was that easy, I probably would have stayed in the game a little longer and got me a belt. But that isn't the reason I went into the ring. I went into the ring to give my father back that light. I wanted to let that light in that 20 by 20 shine on him one last time because I knew it was coming. But I didn't feel the people of that day and age were going to give him his props. So I was going to make them give him his props by having attention to me in the ring. And not only that, he trained me and worked my corner. And so I was the first daughter of a champion to enter and grace a professional boxing ring. So I gave that to him. And that night we made history again.
So many times that you've made history. Your dad's made history. It's just an amazing story. I mean, I don't even know where to start, but I mean, he was a crazy nut about physical fitness. I heard that he used to walk on his hands. He'd walk around the block on his hands.
Walk
Is that
around the
true?
block on his hands. Yep.
Hey, let me shout out D-Ray that stopped in here. Demetrius Bright is in here, man. I appreciate you guys for coming in here. And like I said, man, your boxing IQ is going to go up a few points if you listen to this woman.
It's funny.
I mean, it's funny, but it's true. And his diet too. I heard all kind of crazy things. He used to like to eat pastries and donuts and sweet stuff. And he'd get big between fights. And it was crazy, his nutrition. Can you talk about that a little bit? What was it growing up with Archie behind the counter at home?
Like I said, I wasn't around when he was fighting, but I know of what he did. I know different things that he told me, but I will say one thing: he was avid about when he ate steak, he would chew it up and then spit out the bulk. And by the time I came around, he would always ask the restaurant or the gala or wherever we were, he would ask them for a small plate and a white napkin. And then people just knew it. He sat down no matter where he was, from a local diner to the White House, they had a little plate with a napkin over it for him to spit out the bulk. So he did that till the day he died. I never saw him eat steak any other way.
And from what I understand, when he went out, somebody invited him to dinner, and it wasn't up to par. Most people would just kind of eat it and not say anything. Archie was a very, very very extroverted guy. Am I
right? Yeah, he was. He would leave. He would leave. If they sat us near a bathroom, a restroom, he would leave. If they sat us in the back of the restaurant, we would leave. So that taught me a lot. So even to this day, if that happens, that's what I do. I vote with my feet.
You didn't far too fall from the tree. I can.
I know. It's amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Now, there was a big part of Archie's life where he went down to Argentina, and I
Hmm.
believe Juan Perón. He wanted to adopt Archie. He was going to give him all the land he wanted.
Yes.
I mean, he was going to treat him like a king down there. And
Mhm.
Archie just said, "That's cool, but I want to go back home." Is
Yeah, he
that
said, yeah, and what he said after, he says, no, all this is fine, but I'm an American.
that he is, man? That he was, and we're so proud of Archie Moore. Now, Archie was kind of like me, where he loved his jazz.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and we even spoke a while ago. You noticed that I have Jack Johnson album, the Miles Davis album, uh,
yeah,
on my wall,
yeah,
and you even mentioned that today, and I would love to play that because I mean Miles Davis, he dug Archie Moore as much as Archie Moore dug Miles Davis, which was just
right,
and
exactly.
oh man, you
Yeah,
know
what was so interesting also about Miles Davis is, before he was Miles Davis, and Daddy would be training, he would be playing
mm,
while Dad trained, and Charlie Parker as well.
I heard that the biggest jazz musicians of the day would go there and they'd blow to Archie's doing the heavy bag or hitting the speed bag, and
Mhm.
they do variations on their theme to keep up with him. I mean, it was just something where if he was alive today with the internet that we have and the social media, I mean, this man would be he would be so huge. I mean,
I
man,
know.
it would be an afterthought. We
Yeah,
talk about the Philly shell and the shoulder roll. I mean, that was just routine stuff to Archie Moore.
right. Well, it wasn't the Philly shell. Dad invented two. One was called the peekaboo, and the other was called the turtle shell.
The
So
turtle
later,
shell.
yeah. So later on, the kids and different trainers picked it up and started calling it the Philly shell, because a lot of guys out of Philly would do it. That's why it's called the Philly shell. And then the other people say it's a cross arm guard. Excuse me. It was not. It was the peekaboo, or the turtle shell. The peekaboo allows you to, well, first of all, your your arms have to be big enough for you to hide behind. So if you have to have some girth. And the peekaboo, I have my phone in one hand, sorry, but it enables you to peek below and above without the your opponent being able to hit you, and you can see them, and you can throw a jab right under it, you can see. And if they come to you, I don't have my other hand, I'm sorry, that's when you catch their punch, catch their whole glove right there before they even get anywhere near your face, which is why his face was so pretty till the end. He basically looked unscathed.
He really did. I mean, some people would actually call the style dull. It wasn't really crowd pleasing. Back in the day. I mean, maybe that's why he didn't get the quick rush to the title, and maybe one of the reasons.
Well, he didn't. I feel that it was he didn't get it. First of all, he was a tactician.
A counterpuncher,
So if
exactly.
you knew boxing, he was exciting. He didn't. He wasn't braggadocious, you know, or anything like that. So but his technique. I mean, even in the Joey Maxim fight, my goodness, it was by decision. And back then, basically, a black man almost couldn't win by decision. It would have to be just right in front of your eyes, and that's what it was. There was no denying it.
And
There was.
how after he won that fight with Joey Maxim, his handlers wanted to pick him up, put him on their shoulders. He said, "Put me down, just raise my hand." I mean,
Be
it was.
cool. He said, "Be cool, be cool. Just raise my hand."
I mean, so much class and dignity. After 129 fights, finally getting that crack at the gold ring, and I mean, just kind of another day at the office. I mean,
Right, right.
I mean, just I mean, what a legend! What a legend! Now, how about the mob? Was did the mob try to get into Archie's life? Did you ever talk to him about that?
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, I talked to him about everything, especially after I became, a boxer myself. He told me everything. And he said the mob didn't mess with him. And this I quote, the mob didn't mess with me, and I didn't mess with them. They knew not to mess with me, unquote.
But they couldn't ignore him. That's the thing.
No, because he was taking down all their boxers. You know?
Now, how about later on in his career? I know he fought twice for the heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Fought Rocky Mar
Right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
and there was a lot of banter going back and forth for that fight. There was a lot of animosity. He said he was going to be the first guy to knock out Rocky, and he almost did. I mean,
Yeah.
in his mind, he blamed the referee for wiping Rocky's gloves and taking too much time between the knockdown.
Well, I do too. I do too. Honestly, I mean, there was no standing eight.
Mhm.
He gave him a standing eight. When Rocky got up off the canvas, he picked him up. Well, he came over to him and he held him by his wrists, right where the gloves are wrapped, and he shook him. He gave him he acted like he was wiping his gloves, but he shook him to him. He brought him to him, and that'll bring you out. That'll clear your brain. Because you're still, when if you kiss the canvas, and even if you get back up, you're not like, you don't have all your marbles. You don't. You
No,
gotta get clear. So you need those precious seconds and minutes to clear your head. And if somebody brings you to, you're ready to go. So I'm not making excuses for my dad. He lost fair and square, I guess. More square than fair. But you know, yeah, he went around, he put out wanted signs for Rocky Marciano.
yeah.
He helped, he was one of the first that actually did big marketing and campaigning for a fight. The promoters weren't going to do it, so he did it to bring
This
the gate up.
this is why in today's, if he wasn't around in today's world, I mean, there would have been nobody would have been talking about Canelo. He would have already kicked Canelo's ass, and and but it's just it's sad that he was never paid. I heard that for the Joey Maxim fight, he was only paid $800, and
Absolutely.
and after he paid everybody else, what did he end up with? Like $75 in his pocket,
Yeah, I think it was 85, 60, something like
85.
that. Yeah, sure.
Insane. Nelly Content, thank you for coming in. Susanna, the single mom, salute to you. Thank you for coming in. I'm honored to have J. Marie Moore in here with me tonight, man. And it's I've been trying to get J. Marie to come on the show when I first met her almost a year ago. A mutual friend, Leon Mohammed, a great guy who's been on here a few times. He introduced us, and I've been trying to get her on, and there's always it just never worked out. Today we finally clicked, and man, this is a fountain of information here. This is I mean, I'm a blast from the past. This is somebody who's been in the trenches. I mean, she's boxing royalty. Were you around when Archie was training other fighters, like when he was training Cassius Clay, a young Muhammad Ali?
I was around, but I was a
A little
baby. Yeah, I didn't actually. I knew who he was. And even after that, he came to our house very often. So, um, I remember even when I was so young, but I remember meeting him as Cassius Clay. And then the next time I saw him, Daddy was telling us, that's Muhammad Ali. And I'm like, no, that's Cassius Clay. And, he said, oh, he changed his name. I was like, oh, so what do we call him? Do we call him Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Cassius Clay, Mr. So yeah, so I saw that, I was there during that transition, and later on in my life, I saw him at various galas and at fights or something like that. So yeah, and then the other, as he, the other boxers like, oh gosh, who was it? Oh, Bob Foster, Ernie
Oh,
Shavers, Mike Weaver, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, James Quick Tillis, George
oh,
Foreman, of course.
all the fighters I grew up with, and as far as I'm concerned, these are this is the top of the class. This is the head of the class you just mentioned, and as far as heavyweights go, even light heavyweights. In fact, you mentioned today that you were interviewing with Mike Weaver and
Yes.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. I mean, those two are awesome. Now, did they know your dad?
He trained him.
He trained Mike Weaver too.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was there for one of Mike Weaver's fights. Mike said that he met him in the gym, and Dad watched him work, and he showed him some things, and he said he would see him in the gym often, and every time Dad saw him, Dad would come over and help him, show him some new stuff. And then he said, Dad had said to him, you're going to be a champ. You're going to be a champion of the world. And he was so young, and, he was like, okay. So when he won the championship, Dad was at the fight. He wasn't working his corner, but he was at the fight. And he said, see, I told you. And Mike didn't remember. So he said, you told me what? He said, I told you be champ. He goes, oh, you did. That's right. So
that was quite the night too, man. That left hook from nowhere in the 15th round. I almost jumped out of my skin. I watched that. It was just so amazing. Now, there's that old story, you must have heard it a million times, where Archie was training Clay, and he told him to do the dishes and sweep the floor. Mm-hmm. And isn't that like Archie used to do that for other fighters, for him to help to show them a move, for him to train them? I mean, they didn't have any money back then, but he'd have them clean the camp, do the dishes.
Well, the thing about it, Bruce, is that number one, they were cleaning after themselves. It wasn't like, they were cleaning for someone else. They were cleaning, well, especially Muhammad Ali. He was in camp by himself. It was like he almost had a private camp, one-on-one with Archie Moore. So, if they ate, then he had 2 dishes to do? And sweep the floor and mop the floor after, mop the gym floor. That's your sweat down there.
But he didn't want to do that, did he?
No. So, but everybody, rumor wants to say that he was like working hard, cleaning up, and he wasn't doing that. And
cleaning your own place for yourself, picking up.
Well, yeah, and not only that, it teaches you discipline, because I was brought up that way. You use a dish, you wash it, put it up. It develops discipline in you, especially as a young boxer. I mean, he's giving you free information. Free. They didn't pay him.
Well, I mean, even with that the ABC program, the Anybody Can, that was out of pocket. Yeah, that was all out of pocket. He was.
Yes.
He pretty much went broke. I mean, I understood that he actually neglected taking care of his family to keep some of these programs going.
Well, no, that's where he drew the line. He was not, the coffers were a little bare, but he was never going to, um, have us go without.
Okay.
Ever. He would that I mean, his family to him was number one before anything. So, that's why he fought the way he did and did the things he did.
There's so many conflicting stories about Archie. I mean, he's probably the most written about boxer. I mean, he's in Guinness Book of World Records.
Hmm.
He's all over the internet. I mean, there's like you said, how many fights did he have when he finally retired? 215.
It was 219. I think it was 219. 219.
219. That's just amazing. And that doesn't even count the smokers and the non-sanctioned fights. And did he have an amateur career or did he jump right into the
Yeah,
pros?
he did have an amateur career. Yeah, he had an amateur career and then he turned pro. He probably wasn't old enough to be a pro, which is probably why he says he was born in 1916 instead of 1913. That's what I guess.
Okay. Put that on the applications. Maybe nobody will give it a second look and,
Well,
and, and you
why
get
why would they? It's just a black kid that wants to box. Why would they?
well well
Why would
maybe because it's just a black kid that wants to box. Maybe that's the reason. I don't know. I didn't live in those times, and I thank God for that, and I think people today should be very, very grateful at the times that we do live in.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, and that's the whole point of the legacy that he leaves behind for all these young boxers to follow in his path. And now because of the internet, they have his moves and his fights that they can look at footage. Before, that type of footage was gold. It was platinum. You could not get that type of footage. The only boxer that I know that had that type of footage was Mike Tyson, you know, and that was, given to him by Bill Canton. But you see, today they have everything, but no one, and I say no one, I've never heard a boxer of today say, "Hey, I was watching the Archie footage and nothing," and they they go right in the ring and they do moves that either he invented or his trainers invented for him.
Yeah, it's so underappreciated. And I mean, he would travel from city to city for fights. He'd have to hitchhike with
He
a.
was the most traveled professional boxer, the most traveled. He went to more countries than any other boxer, even today. But when you're talking about from city to city and hitchhike, yeah, he ran that Chitlin run.
And
Hmm.
he hopped freight trains.
Hmm.
I read a story where somebody swung a club at him to
Yep.
to, to get him off of a train. He couldn't understand that. I'm only here for a ride, and you want to kill me.
Yeah.
And it just rang very heavy when I saw it. It was just very poignant.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it still is, man. It still is. And hey, traveling fools, thank you so much for coming in here, Andre Southgate. Appreciate it, man. Don't forget to hit the like button. I'm talking to J. Marie Moore, Lady Mongoose. And how did he get that name, Mongoose? The Mongoose a mongoose is somebody who they avoid that snake. They avoid it, and then they see a weakness, and they go for it, and it's all over. Does that kind of define Archie?
Yes, I would say a mongoose is a little animal that it's the only animal that can catch and kill a cobra.
Mm, that's a
And they're very clever, they're sneaky, they're fast, and they emulate whatever the cobra's doing until the cobra either gives up or doesn't understand it. So it's a move and a move and a move and a move. That's what a mongoose does.
a chess player.
Yeah.
Was Archie a chess player?
No, he was a pool shooter.
Oh,
He loved playing pool. He loved playing pool. He played pool every day that I know that that when he was home, he played pool every day of his life.
How about you? You're a pretty good shot.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. But he also played. What I'm finding out is that he also played to but this is before he married my mom. To eat.
He's a hustler.
Yeah,
He,
to eat. I mean, he played with Fats Domino and all of them.
Minnesota Fats.
Yeah, yeah,
Minnesota.
Minnesota Fats. Yeah.
Well, I don't even doubt Fats Domino. I wouldn't be surprised if he came in and out of your like once or twice. I mean, because like you said, man, he was just his whole totally immersed in boxing, fighting. The people in the game today, they can't comprehend that. I mean, this is a guy who fought every month,
Yeah.
every freaking month,
Yeah,
and
and,
not.
and sometimes it was more than every month. It might be every 2 weeks, or one fight he took a train from. He fought in St. Louis, and then took a train out to San Diego, and fought again, and rested. This is what he said. He rested a couple hours and then fought again. He had 3 fights in a day.
3 fights in a day. That's got to be in the Guinness Book of World Records also. And
Yeah.
he must have a chapter dedicated to Archie Moore.
Yeah, something.
Now he had 2 chances at the heavyweight title. There was that fight for the vacant belt with Floyd Patterson.
Floyd Patterson. Mm-hmm.
Mm. And did he have any trepidations about moving up to heavyweight? Was it just like did he do it for the prestige? Was it more money at heavyweight, or did he just clean out the light heavyweight division? There was no more mountains to climb at light heavyweight.
Well, yeah. I mean, even when he told me about Harold Johnson, who he fought 5 times, he was like, he was bored. He said he was bored. He said Harold was. He said he was a good fighter, but he was a boring fighter. And as far as the heavyweight division, he thought that maybe, just maybe, he could capture the heavyweight crown while holding the light heavyweight simultaneously. He really thought that he could do that.
Today,
and that's why he did it.
If he was around today, there's no doubt in my mind that he would do that. Yeah. I mean, it would have been automatic. This man would have been 4 or 5 division champion easily.
I know, right?
It's mind blowing. It really is, and we see that in boxing. That fight with Floyd Patterson, mm-hmm. that was a pretty close fight. Did he knock down Floyd in that fight at all?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
But I mean, that was the even people now when they talk about the people that they're not really boxing aficionados, they associate Archie Moore as a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, they do. They do. They always. I mean, online, it's all over online. It's like, well, he didn't beat Muhammad Ali, and he didn't beat Floyd Patterson, and I'm like, well, he wasn't a heavyweight. He was still the light heavyweight champion of the world while he was doing that. And mind you, he was the number 1 heavyweight contender.
Without a doubt.
So,
in fact,
I mean, that's amazing to me. You're the light heavyweight champion and the heavyweight contender back in those days. There was no cruiserweight, there was no in-betweens. There was no heavy, super heavyweight. So if you were a heavyweight, you were that 190, you were that 185. And for a boxer, that's a large jump from light heavyweight at 175.
Now, when I was a kid, I remember going to the movies in my town, the Lyric Theater, back in probably 1961 or 60, and I saw Huck Finn.
Oh yeah,
and And I saw Archie in a movie, and I didn't even know it at the time. I found this out later on in life. I said, "Damn, I saw him. I saw him in Huckleberry Finn." And I mean, did he have aspirations of acting after his boxing was over? Because he was in quite a few. He did a little bit of
Yeah,
acting.
he was in quite a few movies and television shows. He liked it. He liked it, but nothing was like boxing to him. Boxing was his wife. Boxing was everything to him.
He didn't get bit by the Hollywood bug.
Not really. He said he enjoyed it. And he said he enjoyed it, but that, and he acted when, I mean, he didn't go out looking for it. They would call him. Just like well, well, I'll just tell you. An unknown fact is when the Rocky series came up, the Rocky story came
Hmm.
out. Um, they sent him the script and he read through it. And they asked him, what did he think about it? He said, that's not really boxing, is what he said. He said it was, it was fake, because certain things a boxer would not do. Certain things, just certain things. And he wasn't understanding that it was Hollywood, that people that don't know anything about boxing, they're going to buy it hook, line, and sinker. So they said, well, we're going to clean it up a little bit. Can you just mark in there what you feel is, good and not good? And he was like, no, not for free. And they wanted him to be in it. And, he said, no, they'd have to really, really clean it up. And which is, could be a mistake, obviously, with what 5 Rockies and all the other spinoffs, but he turned it down.
Interesting. I had no idea of that.
I know.
I'll tell you what's really a mind blower is when he brought George Foreman to the heavyweight championship of the world. I mean, he was the only one who believed in George Foreman.
Right.
Even George didn't believe in himself.
Right.
He told George Ali was jawing at George in Zaire, and Archie just said, "You just look at him and say, shut up."
Mm-hmm.
And Ali didn't know how to handle that.
Right. Yeah. And
Does he speak of Zaire? Did you ever speak to him on Zaire? Because I know he mentioned that the reason that George lost that fight was because he listened to his brother Roy, and he tried to break Ali's arms like Rocky Marciano style.
well, yeah. And what he said was, he went in there and he said that when he started, hitting Ali's arms, he said that George didn't realize that Ali's arms were as big as his.
Man.
But he told him everything about Muhammad Ali. This is a man who fought him, and then saw him a lot. So if anybody knew Ali, it would have been him. So if it had been me, I would have followed the playbook step by step.
Mm-hmm.
I
The
mean,
playbook from the master. Yes, the playbook from the master.
oh yeah, because everything to him was a calculated move. You do not throw a punch unless you know where it's going and what it's meant to do to the body. I
Now,
mean, even when I was training, he went out and got um, a medical muscular um, diagram, that you see in the doctor's office.
the anatomy shot.
Yes, and he bought some push pins, and he showed me everything, every punch, and where it's placed to take down an opponent, or to wear them down, or to shut off nerves, or to cause different organs to do different things. So I
Wow.
know if he told me, he had to tell George and all of them. Or maybe he just told me. I don't know.
How about your career in boxing? Let's talk a little bit about that. How did you get started? I mean, obviously you were bred to become a boxer. You were born with the Archie Moore as your dad. I mean, it's almost like the genetic pool just pulled you into the game. But
Yeah.
did you have love for boxing, or did it just do it? Was it a money
No,
thing?
I've always loved boxing because that's what my dad did, and that's what to me he was perfection, you know, and so I always loved boxing. I mean, I was brought up by the, ring skirts, that's where I played in boxing gyms and things like that, or not so much gyms, but we had a boxing ring in our backyard, so it was just natural for me. And I always knew how to fight, how to throw a punch, because he taught us all as from like 5 years up, 5 years old up. We all knew how to fight. So, I mean, I just, you know, put on gloves and we get in the ring. But as far as my short-lived boxing career, I got into it. Like I said, I wanted to give my dad, you know, I just wanted to tell him thank you from the world through me. Just to give him that light to shine back on him. I saw that he was going down. My brother had just died, his first son, and I saw him and could see him slipping away. And as I saw that, I didn't know what to do. And then my brother came to me in a dream and he told me that I had it. I'm like, hey, well, I have what? He says, you can box, sis. So there's more to the story. That's another day. But anyway, I went to him and I said, Dad, I want to box. And he just looked at me, and I was a girly girl, and I had long nails, and he just grabbed my hand, still looking in my eyes. He grabs my hand and runs my fingernails across his palm, and he saw I had no nails. He said, let's go.
Oh man, I just got a whoo in my spine when you.
Yeah, so that's how it started. every day every day he wake me up 5 o'clock. Let's go.
Oh, so you got that spark going again. You absolutely did
Yeah,
what you
yeah, yeah,
could
yeah,
do.
yeah. I feel like I was able to, add a year and a half to his life. Because I mean, my brother, nobody saw it, but I saw it. I saw it.
Now, what? How far did your career go? I'm sorry, I don't know much about your career, Jay Marie.
Well, that's because it wasn't that big of a career. Like I said, I didn't go in there. I didn't go in there with the mindset of winning a belt or anything like that. I just wanted to do it for my father. I wanted him to see me win. And I also wanted to do it to give female boxers a shot in the arm. I figured if I could come out with my name and get in a ring, then people would start looking and taking female boxers more seriously, especially if Archie Moore is working my corner.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of champions who did not or didn't particularly care for their daughters fighting.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of female boxing. I just don't. I don't get any pleasure seeing a beautiful woman get her face punched in. I mean, I'm sorry. I try to get into it. I know female boxers today. They're not like they were 30 years ago. they almost look like a couple of guys going at it in there. I mean, it's like it's come so far. What do you think of women's boxing today? The
I am
Amanda
I
Serrano,
yeah, I've
Shield.
always loved it. Um and I love female boxing, and I I'm getting to actually watch their history, because when I started, I mean, the boxers that were around were like Free the Cheetah Gibbs, Christy Martin, people like that, and Chevelle Hallback, and those were true boxers, and that's what I gravitated towards, were true boxers. Not, I mean, I didn't, like, I was like you, I don't care for somebody that's just sitting there, throwing crazy punches or whatever. I look for technique, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And so even today I'm watching them fight for 3-minute rounds, you know
Mhm.
and Amanda Serrano just gave up her WBC belt because they will not give women 3-minute rounds. Now, they said they want to protect the safety of a woman. And I don't understand how that 1 minute makes a difference, because any gym you go into on the face of this earth, boxing gym, that bell is set for 3-minute rounds. We train for 3 minutes, and then we're supposed to go out there and fight 2 minutes. Well, that's against your whole body's mechanism, because boxing, obviously, as you know, is a stop-start sport. So your heart, rests, and then it has to expand. So if you're training 3-minute rounds, your timing is going to be off when you get in your 2-minute round ring.
But they like, even boxing. It's kind of being sissified, and that seems like they're doing it, especially women's boxing. The 2-minute rounds. Um, did did you find, when you get into the ring, did it come natural for you the first time you laced them up and sparred with somebody, or really bit down in that mouthpiece, and it's like, man, I'm not sitting in the stands anymore. I'm up here and I'm under the spot.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first time oh my, well, where I laced them up seriously, like you said, to spar. I mean, I'd lace them up, a lot of times. So I was comfortable with boxing gloves. I always loved the way they felt in my, with my hand inside of them. But the first time for a actual sparring session, first of all, I never got to spar women. So I don't know what that feels like. Oh no, I did one time in Arizona. That's right, one time. But the rest of all of my career, I sparred men.
You think that the females have the same problem today, or is it more? Are there
No,
more?
you have lots of women to spar. And see, I didn't have anybody in my weight class. I was a light heavyweight. There was nobody for me to spar. They had problems finding me opponents. So, and I fought, some exhibitions in between and after, but I only fought the two. Well, to me, they were all fights, because you're throwing punches.
Oh,
Professional fights on record. When my pro debut was a unanimous decision, and my second fight, and Dad had already passed. He had already died, and so my second fight was third round TKO. So, and then honestly, I'm back in the gym. I trained all the time. Eat, sleep, box. Eat, sleep, box. I didn't date. I didn't do anything. Boxing became my husband. And because I learned that from Dad, I learned how to be a boxer, how to be a prize fighter.
You don't do it half-ass.
Yeah, you can't. Well,
You,
I guess some people can and get away with it, but yeah, I mean, I just think, just like I think, I mean, I don't know for certain, but I feel like boxers like um, Bud and um, Haney, I think they hold camps, like real camps, and that's all I know. You go on, you go down, and you have a camp, and that's all you do, and you're at the camp, and camp is never paradise.
oh no, I mean, look at the famous line of Marvin Hagler. It's hard to get out of bed and run when you're sleeping in silk pajamas, and that's you know,
Well, I
these,
remember, I was in Mike Tyson's camp for 5 years, and so one day towards the end of the 5 years, and I switched over to Top Rank, but Mike came in and he fired everybody, and so uh, everybody, even Tommy Brooks, he was his chief trainer. I'm like, whoa, and so Mike looks at me and he said, "What you gonna do, Mongoose?" And I said, "I don't know. What are you gonna do?" He said, "I'm going to Hawaii." Because this is before the Lennox Lewis fight. He said, "I'm going to Hawaii. You want to go?" I was like, "Champ, you don't train in paradise." He said, "Why not?" I said, "Don't go. Don't go." And we know what happened.
yeah, unfortunately, Customato wasn't in the picture, and after Mike got out of prison, it was not the same. I mean, that to me, Mike Tyson was unstoppable between 1986 and 1989. He was. You could mention him in the same breath as Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali,
Sure.
Jack Johnson, Archie Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He was that, to me, he was that good. He was a once in a generational talent. But after prison and after Don King got a hold of him and the way things went, it wasn't Mike Tyson anymore. People say, oh, he got beat by Lennox Lewis. Bro, that was not Mike Tyson who went in the ring against Lennox Lewis. And if you think it was, then you don't know shit about boxing.
Well, no, and like I said, he trained in paradise. That was when he went to Hawaii to train.
Crazy, crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. But hey, Jay Marie, I had you for an hour. I don't want you to get worn out over here, man.
Okay.
I appreciate this so much, man. And really, I mean, you've got so much going for you. I mean, you've got the vernacular. You're beautiful, and you're the daughter of Archie Moore. I mean, dude, you got the triple crown, my sister.
Oh, thank you. The trifecta, huh?
Absolutely, the trifecta, man. And it was really a pleasure having you on here. And
Thank you, and thank
God,
everybody.
God bless you so much, my sister.
Okay, bye bye.
Peace. Hey, I am fortunate, man. I am very fortunate. That was a great show. That was Jay Marie Moore, the daughter of the legend Archie Moore. And this is BruceGas, Boxing, Jazz, and More. And thank you for coming in here. And I hope you enjoyed it, because I sure did. And I hope I'll get around here again real soon. So peace.